everybody, my name is Victoria and welcome back. Today we will be doing another video. I want to give another shout out to Buzzfeed for having these videos and Buzzfeed Unsolved. I do want to do another disclaimer that this is all based off of my facts and my research. I am a criminal justice major with a psychology minor. So I am doing based off of what I know. Feel free to put any facts in the comments below. I would love to learn more, so any facts or anything you think might not be correct, feel free to put it in the comments below. I'm here for all of it, so let's go ahead and get started. So this video is called The Horrifying Slaughter at, I'm gonna butcher that name, but I'm pretty sure it's German, or at least it looks like it. I might be completely wrong, so please forgive me if I am, but we're going to be watching it.
Story, in my opinion, may actually be creepier than the last one. On the evening of March 31st, 1922,
Germany,
six residents of the Hinterkaifeck farm in Bavaria, Germany.
Hinterkaifeck. Nice. I like the name,
Were murdered with a pickaxe. Husband and wife, Andreas and Kazila Gruber, their widowed daughter, Victoria, and Victoria's...
Love her name. I wonder if it's spelled the same. It probably isn't. It's probably spelled Viktoria.
two children, Kazila and Josef, as well as the Gruber family maid, Maria Baumgartner. I couldn't find like a super credible news source that covered this, but there are so many accounts of it online, it obviously happened.
So this is just fucking fan fiction someone
this
just wrote.
like, there's pictures, and then there's like records of it in Germany.
You work at Buzzfeed and you don't know that you can't doctor pictures?
Dude, these aren't
That's
doctored.
fair.
Okay, all right, let's get into it.
Just to give you a little picture of the scene, 2-year-old Josef was murdered in his crib. The family maid Maria was murdered in her bed. The rest of the family, though, had been slaughtered in the family barn.
So some of the family was murdered in their bed and the rest in the farm. My first thought is that maybe the bodies were moved to the barn, just because it seems very weird. But let's say, depending on how much blood is around the beds, maybe they were murdered in the barn too and then just placed there to look inconspicuous.
So 4 of the families killed in the barn, and then the baby, 2-year-old, and the maid are left killed in their beds.
Exactly.
Oh.
So for some reason, the rest of the family was killed in the barn, and they were found stacked on top of each other.
Safe to assume they weren't already stacked on top of each other and then killed, but they were killed and then stacked on top of
And
each
then he
other.
killed them all in one fatal strike.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it didn't happen that way. This is where shit starts to get fucking creepy.
Okay.
Whoever did this, and this is honestly just disgusting, actually stayed in the house for several days after he murdered the entire family. And we know that he did.
Okay, I agree with him on this part. That is very much not normal. Very much disgusting, as they put it. But that brings in the psychological factor. Was the murderer somehow connected to the family? Did the murderer know the family, kind of thing? And was he or she so sadistic that they just wanted to be around the family 24/7, even after the murder? So
Did this because in the week that followed the murders, cattle were still being fed, meals were being eaten in the kitchen, neighbors reported seeing smoke rising from the chimney, and then the family dog was tied up outside the barn when the postman came on Saturday. The bodies were discovered, by the way.
I appreciate whoever murdered or slaughtered these people. I appreciate that they took care of the animals. I don't appreciate them killing people, but I do appreciate them saving the animals and helping them.
the next day on Sunday.
So that's why he moved him to the barn, so he could continue living in the house.
I just feel like you murder an entire family. You want to get away from there. This
fair.
guy felt the need to make himself a sandwich. Anyways, another creepy detail of this is that Maria, the family maid who was murdered in her bed, she'd just been hired that day. That was her first day on the job, to replace the previous maid who quit 6 months earlier due to the house being haunted.
Okay. So now we're bringing in supernatural elements. Now we're saying the previous maid left 6 months earlier because she thought the house was haunted, and then the new maid died on the same day. If it wasn't haunted before, I have a feeling it might be now.
You want to know some of the things that caused the other maid to quit?
No.
The other maid claimed she heard footsteps in the attic, voices, things like that. You know, classic ghost story shit.
Is she sure there was no one living in the attic? That's happened a few times.
So she quit, and the family dismissed her as just another wacky lady with wacky thoughts. You know, see you
As
later.
usual,
But
as you do.
surprise, 6 months later, now the family starts hearing footsteps in the attic. And then Mr.
we
Gruber,
sure there was
you know,
no
the
one
head of the
in the
household, he finds an unfamiliar newspaper in the house that he'd never seen before.
Okay, someone was definitely living in this house. Someone was definitely in the attic. I don't think it was haunted. I think probably the murderer was living in the attic because that's too convenient.
Before the set of house keys go missing, he also finds that the family tool shed has been scratched up. It's like someone tried to pick the lock.
Is that where they kept the pickaxe?
Exactly.
No! Really? They kept the pickaxe in a tool shed?
Well,
Where else would you keep a
would-
pickaxe?
Yeah, where else
And
would you-
finally, footprints are discovered by Mr. Gruber in the snow, leading to the back of the house coming from the woods. But there's no return footsteps. They just go straight to the house. Whoever walked into the house didn't walk back. There.
Yeah, so my first thought is definitely living in the attic, and no one knew about it, and because of that, they got murdered.
There was no money taken because there was large sums of cash found on the farm, so they were pretty sure that this was a crime of passion. For suspects, they really only had one legitimate guy, and it was their neighbor, Lorenz Schlittenbauer.
Hold on, I want to say that. Lorenz Schlittenbauer. I like it. But to be fair, it is Germany, so I expected a lot of crazy names.
Can't be the neighbor. Think about it practically. If he's running his own farm, when does he have time to live in someone else's house and like wake up in the morning to feed his cows? It's a 6-man job that one person was doing.
Well, if his farm went downhill fast, then he would definitely have a lot of motive to kill them, because if they were doing good, then yeah.
Wait,
Mr. Schlittenbauer believed that Victoria's son, Josef,
2-year-old.
I told you. I knew it. I was like, it's definitely spelled with a K, not a C, because, why? And Joseph, you know, this brings on the whole language thing. In English, we would say Joseph as, with PH, or Victoria with a C. But in German,
yeah, the 2-year-old, he thought it was his son. He'd been intimate with Victoria.
oh,
However, the son was later discovered to belong to Andreas Gruber.
what? I'm sorry, what? So Joseph's grandfather, aka either his mother's dad or her husband's dad. Okay. Incest, man, that might be why.
Josef was the product of incest, meaning Andreas Gruber played the horrifying role of father and grandfather. Also, another little factoid to round off this week of serious bad luck for this family. When the family's heads were removed to be studied in the autopsy, they lost the heads. So that meant
You took heads from a crime scene and you lost them. How? Like, I understand if it was like you were shipping body parts or something, but this is like, this ain't it. This really ain't it.
And the family had to be buried headless.
Dude, it's 1922.
How do you
Things get
lose?
lost.
That's 6 heads.
Exactly.
That's so many heads. How do you lose that many heads?
I agree.
Government,
How
man.
do you lose it?
What happened to the house after? Did anyone move in?
They demolished it a year after the crime had happened, just so there's not this terrible monument of actually just a monument now, like a literal monument
That's nice.
to commemorate the family.
I'm just trying to find out who did it. Who done
Who
it?
did it?
That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, still unsolved, and I don't think it ever will be solved.
So, there wasn't really any suspects. They have no idea. Like, when did they find the body? Like, there's so many questions left unanswered here. And it makes me wonder what the police did. Well, this was 1922. There probably wasn't much of anything like that around. Makes me wonder. There's a lot of questions left unanswered in this case, and I don't know what more to say. There's just nothing there to really do anything with. And the fact that the guy or girl was living in the house after the murders is just kind of creepy. But anyways, I'm Victoria. Can't wait to see you back for the next video. Hopefully it'll be up soon. Have a great and wonderful day. Let me know if you have any suggestions. I'm going to actually leave my website in the link below, and it's going to have, you can either put the suggestions in the comments or you can go to my website and do it there as well. I will also put Buzzfeed's information in the link in the description below, as well as my social media. Everyone, have a great and wonderful day. Bye!